Hey everybody, Dave here. Just wanted to make a quick video. I'm going to try something out today. I want to try to improve Honker in the second build with some limit switches to control the arm movement on Honker. The two components I want to try to use today, I'm going to be using this limiting switch. I'll be using two of these. And a cool trick I learned by researching on the internet about using some diodes to kind of help control the two endpoints using just one circuit and no special relays.
That weapon on top does not seem
so during the competition I had a little bit of difficulty controlling that arm movement, and it just required too much thinking. So a quick cleanup and I'm ready to start this project. First I'm going to just lay out some of the board that's going to hold the motor, and the two limit switches is just kind of a test rig for the concept. Just kind of put in some bolt holes. This will be the motor, and then lay out the positioning for the two limit switches for an arm to ping pong back and forth. So I'm just going to set that up to cut it on the laser cutter and get that going. Alright, with a little bit of hot glue, I'm going to assemble this back face. Alright, so the main idea is that between the terminals that are normally connected between the motor and the ESC, I'm going to introduce the limit switches that are going to stop the motion. And I want to set up one limit switch for each direction. The main idea is that these diodes don't allow electricity in one direction. So I can use that to allow it to be basically a bypass when I want to reverse the direction because the switch is already connected. So I need to figure out which orientation to run these diodes in with the overall layout. So if I set it up like this and I'm sending out positive going this direction through the limit switch, that's going to go through fine because it's open. It's going to come down here, it's going to go through fine. It can't go through that diode because it's a one-way, but the switch is still open. So it's going to allow the motor then to turn, and I'm going to want that motor to turn and then click that switch when it reaches the end. So that means I want it to go counterclockwise. So this setup will work to operate the motor counterclockwise. Now if I reverse the direction and the ESC is now supplying electricity and it wants to go the other way, it's able to go through that diode even though the switch is click closed. And it gets over here and then it's going to go through but I guess the diode's in the wrong position because it will always bypass even if the switch is closed. So I need to change the direction on that diode, and then I think the circuit will work. Okay, so now I'm just going to wire everything up to the connections that I had in my little diagram. I know that I've got a kind of a hodgepodge mix of different board connectors, but it's what was already connected to the other components, so I'm just going to run with it. It's important to note that I actually got the diodes connected across the wrong two terminals, so I currently have them to the normally closed and the common. Once I had some issues, it wasn't operating, I realized that I need to put that diode across the two outer terminals on the switch that would connect the common and the normally open. and then things work out. So as shown here, I've got the diodes in the wrong between the wrong two pins. Alright, with the everything hooked up as needed, next step is to assemble the rig with all the components. I'm going to attach the switches to the board here. And hook up the receiver to the system. So the receiver is just getting its power from the BEC on the ESC. So here's where I'm making the fix, because I realized I had the diodes across the wrong two pins. So I'm going to repair that, redo those connections, and then I'm good to go. Okay, well here's the final assembly. I've added an arm to ping pong back and forth. The electronics are all hooked up. I've got the ESC, the battery plugged in. I added a little switch here. The receiver is connected, and I've hooked it up to my left and right channel. And so you can see then the switch is able to turn off the power to the motor. I'm letting go. So left, right. So I'm hoping that this will help Honker control its arm a little bit better while I'm in the middle of competition. I can just max it out. I don't have to worry about going too far or trying to optimize where the arm is. I can just set it with these limit switches and go. Alright, thanks again for watching. Hope that was interesting or useful to you.